Hey guys, Darkrom Gaga here with a pretty late deck of the month for January. It's just a simple Kristya Lightsworn deck. So, 2 Judgment Dragons. I mean, those are pretty self-explanatory. Blow up the whole field for 1,000 points. Gives your opponent trunk butt. 2 Archlord Kristya. Some people might want to play 3, but I think 2 is fine enough because sometimes you'll have too many fairies and it becomes a dead card. Oh, not only that, this card is really good against other Lightsworn decks and zombie decks since they can't special summon, and it's pretty hard to get rid of since you can summon it and put an Honest back in your hand. Alright. 3 Celestias. They serve as fairies, and with Lightsworn, you just get to kill more cards in the field and mill more cards, which is exactly what Lightsworn thrives on. 1 Lila, I mean, I think 1's enough. You can bring it back with Lumina, search it out with Charge. It's just there to pop cards and mill. 3 Lumina. 3 Lumina is pretty much a staple in any kind of Lightsworn deck because it lets you discard cards and bring back other Lightsworn monsters from the graveyard, letting you mill more, bring out big attackers. 1 Arcus. Can't target any of your Lightsworn monsters, really useful against zombies and stuff. Mills 2 cards in the end phase, has a pretty good defense. Garoth. This card's usually used with Lumina. Bring it back from the grave with Lumina's effect, and then you get to mill 2 cards every time a Lightsworn monster mills, and every time you mill a Lightsworn with him, you get to draw a card, so even more pluses. Raikou. You just play 1 of him because he's pretty slow for a Lightsworn deck, but his effect can come in handy sometimes, destroys oppressions and stuff like that, and helps you mill more cards, and he's a target for Judgment Dragon, so he adds to the Lightsworn count. 2 Wolves. I only like to play 2 because when you play 3, the dead draws get even worse, since you can't normal summon these cards, and you can only special summon them when it gets sent to the graveyard by a card effect, and that's what Lightsworn does, but 2 should be fine. Jane, she's there used mostly as a beater. It gets over big monsters, well, kind of big monsters. It gets over like zombie masters, Stratos and stuff by giving her 300 extra attack points when it's attacking. So that's pretty good. Aaron has gotten a lot more popular since zombies, kickback face down tomatoes, goblin zombies, other stuff like that, and it mills 3 cards. 3 Honest. This card is also a staple in Lightsworn decks. Protects your Lightsworn monsters, deals damage, destroys monsters. It's just really good. And it's also a fairy type, so when these are in the graveyard, they're adding to Kristya, and you can usually pull one of these back with Kristya's effect to make sure that Kristya stays out for a while. 3 Necrogardna. Another staple in Lightsworn decks. You're going to be milling a lot of cards, so when these are in the grave, remove 1 and block an attack. And Plague Spreader Zombie, again, milling a lot of cards, so you can synchro summon by bringing this card back from the grave by stacking your cards. Sometimes you can stack Wolf, and in the end phase mill the Wolf, so that's another plus. Onto the spells. Heavy Storm, staple, destroy all spells and traps. 3 Charge of the Light Brigade. It mills, helps you mill, it just helps like a lot. Drawing this in your first hand is usually like a really good sign. Helps you search out Lumina, which is usually what you'll search out with this card. It's just really good. 3 Solar Recharge, more draw power for the Lightsworn and mill power. You discard a Lightsworn, draw 2, and then mill 2. If you mill Wolves and Necrogardnas, then that's pluses and stuff like that. Plus, if you draw a dead wolf, you can just discard them with these. 2 Monster Incarnation. You can discard dead cards to get back a Judgment Dragon or an Archlord Kristya. Sometimes a Celestia or even a Lumina if you're that desperate. My Body is a Shield. If they try and use any cards to, like, you know, ruin your plans, just say fuck you and use this one. They'll be crying. Cold Wave. This card is really good when you're going for a big push. They can't use any spells or traps, but neither can you, but I mean, it pretty much seals the deal. Judgment Dragon and this and stuff, it just seals the deal. They're fucked. Onto the traps, only a few. Torrential Tribute is a good field clearer. I've been thinking of taking it out, but whatever. It just clears the field. 2 Beckoning Lights. I've been considering running a third, and I might. It helps you set up for game pretty much. Discard your whole hand, and you get light monsters. So just get Judgment Dragons, and if you have enough fairies or the right amount, get Archlord Kristya, and that's game. And 1 Random Threatening Roar. I'm not sure why I kept that in here, but it pretty much put zombies in their place, other Lightsworn decks. Like if a zombie deck goes all out and does Brionic and all that crap, and they toss their Mizuki or whatever to bounce a card to your hand, and you chain this, they're going to be pretty sad, because then next turn you can just drop Judgment Dragon and they're screwed. Pretty small extra deck, I know. Goyo, 6-star. Red Dragon, 8-star. Avenging Knight Parshath, because you have a lot of light monsters in this deck, so it's pretty easy to bring out. Brionic is a staple in the extra deck. 1 Stardust, 1 Thought Ruler. Magical Android to gain health. And a Mistworm. Mistworm is really, really useful, I found. Usually when you have like Lumina and Garoth, you can bring back Plague from the grave and just rape their field with Mistworm. Go for extra damage or get rid of like Light Imprisoning Mirror and stuff like that. And also Black Rose Dragon to clear the field, of course, if you have to. Colossal Fighter against other Lightsworn decks and stuff. And Catastor, especially useful against other Lightsworn decks. And pretty much now fairies, because I've been seeing a lot of fairy decks around lately, so yeah. Well, that's it for Kristya Lightsworn, and I hope you guys enjoyed, and please subscribe. Peace.